This joint looks perfect. Smooth glue line, nice clamp pressure. But here's the thing. Sometimes what looks strong isn't strong at all. And sometimes what you think you know about wood glue, completely wrong. So a while back I made a video about wood glue, and to be honest, I thought maybe 10 people would care. But you guys went nuts for it. It's now one of my most popular videos on my channel, which tells me one thing. Either glue is secretly fascinating, or you all just really love seeing me make a mess in my shop. Either way, I'm not going to argue with it. You wanted more glue, so today we're diving into myths, mistakes, and fixes that will make or break your projects. And trust me, even experienced woodworkers fall into these traps. I think this video is going to rock. I think I might have had too much coffee this morning though, so what do I know? Let's kick this off with a few myths, because there are a ton of half-truths floating around about glue. Myth number 1, more glue equals stronger joint. Nope. That giant puddle of glue squeezing out, that's not extra strength. That's wasted glue and extra sanding later. The real strength comes from a thin, even layer between the two pieces. You want just enough to cover the surface and make good contact. Anything beyond that is just making your clamp sticky. This is not a stronger joint, this is just ugly. Myth number 2, screws and nails are stronger than glue. This one always makes me laugh. I've literally seen joints snap around the glue line with the fibers ripping apart while the glue holds strong. Nails and screws? They're basically just clamps that stay in the wood. Glue done properly is stronger than both. If you don't believe me, take 2 scraps, glue them, let them cure, and then try to break it. Spoiler, the wood loses. Myth number 3, Titebond 3 is always the best choice. A lot of people think, oh, Titebond 3 is waterproof, so I'll just use it for everything. But here's the problem. It's more expensive, it dries darker, and sometimes you just don't need that extra waterproofing. Making a shop jig? Use Titebond 1. Building an indoor bookshelf? Titebond 2 is fine. Save Titebond 3 for cutting boards or outdoor furniture. Otherwise, you're just paying extra for features that you don't need. Myth number 4, glue lasts forever on the shelf. This is a sneaky one. Nope. Most wood glues have a shelf life of about 2 years. After that, they start getting funky, thicker, stringy, sometimes separating. If your glue looks like cottage cheese, it's not a new formula, it's garbage. Toss it. You can actually see a little separating on this glue, and I still use it. So to recap, a thin layer of glue is better than screws. Titebond 3 isn't a no-brainer, and shelf life matters. All right, so now let's talk about the classic mistakes. Because let's be real, we've all done these at some point. Mistake number 1, wiping off wet squeeze out. Here's the scene. You clamp your boards, glue squeezes out, and your brain says, grab a wet rag, clean it up. Wrong. Is that how your brain sounds? When you do that, you're rubbing glue right into the wood fibers. Then later, you go to stain it, and suddenly you've got these blotchy light patches. Instead, let the glue squeeze out and gel for 15 to 30 minutes. It'll turn rubbery. Then, you can scrape it off with a chisel. Way cleaner. Mistake number 2, rushing clamp time. We're all impatient, especially me. But just because glue feels dry after 20 minutes doesn't mean it's cured. Most PVA glues need at least 30 minutes clamped and 24 hours before full strength. If you unclamp too soon, the joint might hold until it doesn't. And it'll fail at the worst possible time, like when you're proudly showing your wife your new cutting board and it splits in half like it's made of crackers. Mistake number 3, gluing in the cold. Glue has a minimum working temperature, usually around 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius. Below that, it just won't cure right. If your shop is cold, you'll come back and find the glue still tacky or brittle. It's called chalking out. The fix, either heat the shop or bring the glue and project inside overnight. And maybe wear more than a hoodie when you're working out in your shop in January. Mistake number 4, starving the joint. This is the opposite of the too much glue myth. Sometimes people use too little. Dab it on one side and call it good. The problem is, wood like oak or ash soak up glue like a sponge. If you're working with end grain, porous wood, or complex joints like mortise and tenon joints, spread it on both surfaces or you'll end up with dry spots and a weak bond. I'm guilty of this from time to time, and I need to do better. Mistake number 5, using the wrong glue for the job. Yeah, all glue sticks things together, but CA glue isn't meant for your dining room table legs. Epoxy isn't necessary for an indoor picture frame. And polyurethane glue, that foamy mess is better left for certain specialty situations. Pick the right glue for the right project and you'll avoid a lot of headaches. All right, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about fixes and some tricks that'll make your glue ups easier. Warm up your glue. Glue gets thick and hard to spread in the winter. Keep your bottle in a bucket of warm water for a few minutes before using it. It'll flow smoother, spread easier, and bond better. Use a glue roller or brush. Don't just squirt and smear with your finger. Use a silicone brush or a little foam roller to spread glue evenly. You'll waste less and get more consistent joints. Plus, silicone brushes are easy to clean after drying. Just peel the glue right off. Super satisfying. The salt trick for slippery panels. Ever try gluing up a big panel and the boards slide around like ice cubes? Sprinkle a couple grains of table salt into the glue line before clamping. The salt adds just enough grip to stop the boards from skating around. Label and rotate your bottles. If you have multiple bottles of glue, mark the date you open them with a Sharpie. Rotate them like milk in the fridge so you always use the oldest first. It really cuts down on wasted bottles going bad. Clamping cauls. When gluing panels, use cauls. Basically, they're just boards with a slight bow in it. Put them across the top and the bottom. They keep your boards flat and distribute pressure so you don't end up with a wavy mess. I find that this really saves on sanding later. Release agent for clamps. Tired of glue sticking to your clamps? Rub a little paste wax on them or even wrap the jaws with packing tape. The glue won't bond and cleanup is way easier. Glue bottle mods. There's lots of options out there to try to make things a little easier for you depending on your process. Rockler makes a glue bottle that comes with various tips. I put a link to that down below if you're interested. You can even just put your glue in old ketchup bottles. It works great and costs pretty much nothing. So, there you go. Myths busted, mistakes avoided, and fixes you can actually use. Glue might not be the flashiest part of woodworking, but get it wrong and your project falls apart. Get it right and it'll outlast you. I just want to say thanks again for all the support on my first glue video. Honestly, I thought it'd be a small one, but you proved me wrong. If this helped you, hit that like button like you're clamping two boards with way too much pressure. And don't forget to subscribe for more woodworking tips. And tell me in the comments, what's your worst glue disaster? Because I guarantee we've all had one. I'll see you in the next one.